Hey, hello everyone. Thanks for joining this webinar on how to crack fundamentals of engineering and civil engineering by using Handbook. So this session might be a very informative session, and also the people who are preparing for fundamentals of engineering. This would be the great session for you, all of you guys. And if you haven't scheduled your fundamentals of engineering and through the website and CES. After this session, so you would be getting a complete information on how to schedule maybe, and also how could you write the exam. And so that one advantage for this exam, we do have a handbook available in on screen on that exam. So by using that handbook, how could we get things done, like so this is like inputting the formula and getting those numbers in the question and inputting, finding the formula and getting the solution. So this is a kind of pattern will be common in fundamentals of engineering exam. And the Dheeraj Banu is gonna be explaining you to how to utilize that fundamental handbook, and how could you find those formulas on relevant concepts, and what are the concepts you need to focus on in order to get more than 70 plus marks in this out of 110. So just give us a couple of minutes of time, and so still people are joining this webinar, so that yeah, Dheeraj is also here, and he's gonna be taking care of this entire session. So yeah, just give us a couple of minutes, then we'll start this session. Thank you, guys. Still, if any one of your friends are not yet joined, so please share with them, and we are going to share with you the live streaming on YouTube, and this is the also streaming on YouTube, and I'm going to share with you that link in a chat box. Try to share with your college groups, and maybe any one of your friends might be benefited from this webinar. So yeah, that would be very helpful for them if you could share that live YouTube streaming link in your college groups or university groups, or any of your friends groups. Okay, so yeah, just give us a moment, and we'll share that YouTube streaming link. Yes, I have shared the YouTube streaming link in chat box. Please go ahead and share that link with your friends, if anyone out there. So that would be a reference for them to even after the webinar also. Yeah, just a couple of minutes, and we are going to start this session by giving a introduction of Dheeraj. Uh, guess Yep, for a small introduction, like introduction or instructions, maybe. So, if suppose if you have any questions in the webinar, so try to keep your questions posted on our comment box so that Dheeraj will pick those all the questions end of this his presentation. Or else, meanwhile, if you have any concerns or anything, so please do let us know. Uh, in the webinar so that we will start this session. So Dheeraj, I make you the co-host. Would you able to turn on your? Yeah, fine.
Hi, Srinivas.
So, and I'm going to, oh, the thing is, so just give us an introduction and we'll start this session. So if possible, try to turn on your camera and I'm going to start the recording and you could take care of this. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dheeraj.
Okay. Hi. Hi, Srinivas. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, fine. Okay. Hi, everyone. So this year, so I started my master's here in Texas in the year
Dheeraj,
2022.
I'm sorry for the interruption, actually. So I think there was a mic issue from your side. So we are not getting your
Okay.
voice clearly.
Uh, Srinivas, then give me a couple of minutes. I'll get back to you.
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Carry on. No worry. We will wait for a minute.
Hello.
Yeah, Dheeraj.
Hello. Srinivas, you can hear me now?
Yes, can hear.
Okay. The voice is clear, right?
Yeah, somehow.
Okay. Okay, fine. So if there is an interruption in the voice, just let me know in the chat box. Uh, and can you all mute your? Okay, fine. Let me start. So hi, this is Dheeraj. So I started my master's here in 2022. So I'm master's in civil engineering. So last year in the month of August, I cleared my FE. Uh, so I'll give you a rough introduction, like what is FE and how do we start this exam, and overall we'll understand like how do we get into the material, so how to study and how to understand the material. So coming to FE, the fundamentals of engineering. So So, I mean, like most of you are from India, so I think you know about this GATE exam, which is back in India. We have this civil engineering exam, like let's say, so we study for 4 years and we have this different subjects, geotechnical structures and all those. So, hello? Okay. So, this is very similar to the GATE exam, but it is not as competitive or as critical as GATE exam. Uh, and so, even the pass percentage is very high. So, this is a very simple exam as compared to GATE. So, coming to this fundamentals of engineering. Um, so there are like 110 questions, like where the basic introduction, like we have like 110 questions in this exam, and so the average mark, like on an average, if you get like around 70 to 75 marks out of 110, you will generally crack the exam. So and most of them are actually very easy. So even if you write right now, you can at least solve 30 to 40 questions. So it is that easy. So the rest of the questions, like let's say if you have like let's say the base mark is 75 marks. So you can solve like 30 questions right now because most of them are like very basic. So the rest of the 40 marks or 45 marks, how do we achieve that? So there is a particular there is a rough idea like how do we get it. So let me explain. Uh, just hold on for a second. Yeah. So before getting into the material, so like I said, like
Dheeraj, we
there are
can't
like
see your screen.
no,
Did you
I'm
share
not
your
sharing.
screen? Okay.
No, I'll share my screen. Like, just let me give some introduction about FA. So this exam has got 110 questions, which is a 6 hour exam. So in the 6 hour exam, it is divided into two sections, like section one and section two. So like there are no negative markings in this exam. The first 110 questions I have got no negative marking. So even if you don't know any answer, you can just go with an option like A, B, C, D. And when you complete section one, when you go to section two, you cannot come back to section one. And but within section one or within section two, you can swap. Like if you go from first question to 10th question, you can again come back to the first question of like you can swap. But when you go from first section to the second section, you cannot swap from the section between sections. You cannot swap. So that is one thing. And in this 6 hour exam, you have like 25 minutes of break, so you can take that break anytime in the exam. So within that 6 hours, you can take anytime. Like after a couple of hours, you can take that 25 minutes break, or after 4 hours, you can take. So it's up to you. So this is the base introduction. Like so when you go to the exam, so for like there are like 110 questions. This is a 6 hour exam. So you have so and so break, and there are so on sections in the exam. So when you go to the exam, so there will be some questions of what to carry for the exam. So do you need to carry a pen or pencil or something like a notebook or something or a calculator? So so in the exam, the only thing that is required is only calculator. To not carry any pen, pencil, eraser, any notebook or something. So they will not allow you anything inside. So they will give you they will give you a notebook or something. They'll give you a notebook and a pen. So the only thing you carry is a calculator. So um, just check the calculator standards. So if you go to like let me share the screen. So you can see the screen.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the main website. I'll be starting from here. So when you go to this website, I mean, they will mention like what sort of calculator you have to. There will be some standards. You have to take that calculator within those standards. So calculator is the only thing. So now the introduction of part is completed. Like what are the things you have to carry and what are the things which not really required to be carried, and what is the duration of the exam, and how many questions you will have, and how many sections you will have in an exam. And so compared as like as a compared to the gate exam. So compared to gate exam, this is very simple exam. So you don't have any negative marking. And moreover, in this exam, you will be provided with a handbook, the fundamentals of engineering handbook. So the very big advantages of this fundamentals of engineering handbook is you need not remember any formula. So everything is coming from the handbook. So that is one of the major thing. So now coming back to the exam. So how do we crack this exam? So what is required? What material is required? So in order to crack this exam, so how do we study? So what is the material that is required to study? So now we'll get into those details. So, so if you have like a pen and paper on your side, just write down like the four things which are like very fundamental and which are very important to to get into this exam and how to crack this. So the first one is the syllabus paper. So this the syllabus paper which I'm sharing right now, I hope you can see it, right? Uh, you all can see
Hmm?
the syllabus paper?
No, we can't.
Okay, okay.
I think there is the voice is coming. That's not from your earphones. I think it's a system. So that's why we are not. The voice is
Okay.
not clear. By the way, could you please check once, like changing your options in mic settings or somewhere?
Okay. I think the microphone's like there.
What was the microphone?
Uh, can you hear? What about? What about right now? Like, is it audible?
Yeah, it seems okay. Yeah, seems.
Okay.
Did you
If it
select
is okay,
the
I'll continue.
headphones? Yeah, I think now
No,
it's
before.
fine. Yeah, now it's fine.
No, it's fine.
I
No,
think
okay,
so.
okay, fine. Okay,
Yeah, seems.
thanks for letting me know. Okay, so you can see the syllabus paper also, right?
Yes, Dheeraj. Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, so before going to the syllabus paper, so go to this website NCEES. So in this website, uh, go to the FE exam. Like I'm sure, see, I can actually prepare a PPT and show you, but I thought of like showing you on screen, like how do we get into this website and how do we get into that material. So that's the reason I'm sharing this website. So when you go to the NCS website, go all the way down. So you can find the FE Civil. Here you get the syllabus paper. Okay. So this is the most very fundamental and the important thing. Even the handbook comes after the syllabus paper because handbook has got all the formula and everything, but it doesn't have the complete syllabus. It may have like 90% of the syllabus covered in the handbook, but this syllabus paper will guide you like in which direction you have to move. So make sure the first thing you do when when you start preparing for the FE exam is like you download this syllabus paper first and get familiar with all the sections like what is dynamics, what other things covered in the dynamics, what are the things covered in water resource, and what are the things covered in the structures geotechnical. And moreover, in this syllabus they will mention you like what is the weightage like 10 to 15 and 7 to 11 to 7 questions, so 4 to 6 questions from ethics and profession. So this will understand so what is the weightage from each subject and how important is it. So is it really important to study ethics and professional practice in the beginning, or is it really, or we can keep it at last. So what is the weightage? So I will explain more in detail about each subject, but for now let's try to understand the importance of this syllabus paper. So download this first, and when you have this paper on ready, so next going back to this handbook. The second thing is handbook. Uh, so now you can see the handbook which I'm sharing right now.
Yes.
So this handbook, uh, so this handbook is more or less similar to the syllabus paper,
which is very but it doesn't have all like it doesn't cover it doesn't cover 100% of the syllabus paper. So but this handbook is readily available in the exam, where you can find all the formula and unit conversions, everything you can use it. So but how do we use this handbook in the exam? And syllabus paper, like what is it gives you the direction, like what are the subjects and what are the subtopics you have to study. So coming to the handbook, so like I said, like there are like 110 questions. In 110 questions, right now you can answer 30 questions based on your previous, like you already have completed your bachelor's in civil engineering, so it is that simple. So, but what about the rest of the 45 questions or something, 40 to 50 questions? So even those 40 to 50 questions, you can easily solve from handbook, like up to 10, 15 questions just by using control plus F button. Let's say I'm trying to find a term called excavation. So So when I'm trying to find a word called excavation, I don't know why it's not working, the find button. So like I said, 10 to 15 questions you can solve it by using the control plus F button. So in the exam, you'll be provided this handbook. So some of the questions like from environmental or from hydrology or transportation, where you might not have studied the concept or any formulas, any problem related. So in that case, in that question, let's say if I go to any, so this is one of the model paper. So let's go to, let's say we try to solve this paper. So, okay. So let's say we try to solve this question, the maximum in-plane shear stress in the element shown below. So when you have a question which you have not studied in the which you have not studied in your preparation, you can simply go with the control F button, and let's say you try this shear stress or something. So when you do that, it will directly go to that concept or the page where it is actually there. So there you will have a formula or something. You can directly plug in the values and you can get the answer. So I mean, out of 110 questions, like when I was giving the exam, like almost like 15 to 20 questions I'm able to solve only with by using this control button, because the formula is like you can get the formula when you type the page number and you can just plug in the values and get the answer. So so this way it will be useful even if you have not studied. But let's say but again, coming back to the handbook. So, but how handbook is useful? When you have a question, like let's say they give you a question and like they will ask you what is the velocity or something. But most of the information or the data they give you is in like feet per second or or pound per second or something like that, in pound in a different unit system. So let's say they ask you in pound and feet, but mostly they will end up with an answer like what is the distance in meters. So when you have the data in some units and they ask you answer in different units, you need to understand this. You need to understand this page, which is like which is like the second page, the third page of this handbook. So this is really important because like when I was giving the exam, like almost like 5 to 6 questions, maybe like more than that, maybe like 10 questions. They don't ask you directly, so they'll give you in some other units and they will ask in some other units. So use this table and try to understand this, and try to use this when you're preparing for the exam. Try to see like so the conversion like centimeter to foot or so mile per hour to the feet per minute. So try to see these numbers just before when you're giving the preparation. So this is one of the important aspects in Handbook. And the other important aspect is, like I said, like use the Control plus F button. When you have a question and you don't know anything about that question, try to use that keyword in Control plus F button and go to that and see like that formula is really useful or not. Whether you can use this data which is in the question paper, can you plug it in and get the answer or not? If it is, but mostly you will end up doing that, like at least like 10-15 questions. So these two are really useful in Handbook. So apart from these two, so you should like when you are giving an exam in civil engineering, you should understand like, because all the subjects are not included within civil engineering. Most of them are actually present in separate topics. Let's say let's go to statics. You see here, I mean you can see the handbook, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so when you see here statics or dynamics or mechanics of materials, so even we have them in the exam, but but if you go down, you can see the civil engineering here. So civil engineering has only certain topics like geotechnical, transportation, structure analysis, construction engineering, surveying, hydrology, etc., etc. So everything is not covered under civil engineering. So you have to get familiar with the handbook, like what are the subjects covered under civil engineering. So if it is not covered under, let's say if I'm going to the, let's go syllabus, mathematics and statics, like statics, dynamics, mechanics of materials. So these things do not come under civil engineering. You have to understand like here mathematics is here, here fluid mechanics is somewhere here. So here mechanics of materials, dynamics, statics. So trying to get familiar with the handbook is really important, because when you go to the exam center and if you do not get familiar with the handbook, so it will be really difficult for you to go to which page number. Let's say you have a question from mathematics, you may go direct to civil engineering and start searching from there. But so try to get familiarized, like so environmental, which is again a different topic. It is not related to civil engineering subtopic. So these are like couple of things you have to understand. Like so how important how important is to get familiar with civil engineering handbook, and how do you use this handbook, like using Control plus F button in the exam. And and the very one important thing is, so how important are the units. So units, please try to get familiar with yourself, because like when you have a question, mostly you will end up with a different units in the answer. So try to uh, try to understand this page, and you and when you're solving any questions in your preparation, try to use this paper. So apart from the handbook, so we have another. So in the same NCS website, let me share you that also again. Okay. So when you go to the NCS website, scroll all the way down, go to the practice exams. So this is the most important thing. Even if you practice less, even if you do not really practice every subject, but try to do this one. So the moment you start your preparation, first download your syllabus paper, download your handbook, and these two. And apart from these two, the next thing you do is download any practice paper, like you see here, FE Civil Interactive Practice paper, which is like $50. So if you find it expensive a bit, try I mean like if you have any friends, like if you have like 3-4 friends, like they're preparing simultaneously with you, you can actually split among yourself and buy this one. But buying this paper is really important. Like if you go down, you will have like $34 or something, $35, and this is like an interactive exam which is like $50. So try to buy this paper and solve completely all the 110 questions in this paper. Try to solve it. So so if you try to understand the situation, like even if you do not really prepare everything from the syllabus, but it's still fine, because like couple of my friends who didn't really prepare everything from the syllabus, but they solved every question from this model paper, like all the 110 questions from the starting to the end. So but still they could crack the exam, because when you solve this paper, you will understand like what is the pattern of the exam. So in which subject, how many questions are like in which topic you're getting a let's say if you go to mathematics, so how many questions you can expect from probability, how many questions you can expect from calculus. If you go to hydrology, what type of questions they are asking. So this pattern, so what is the pattern they're asking every time? So what is the topics they're stressing on? So this I have a model paper. I'll try to drop down here. So I mean, okay, I'll do it later. So by the end of the session, I'll try to drop down the handbook, the syllabus paper, and one model paper. So like I said, like if you think it is little expensive, you can use you can use the paper which I'm going to which I will attach here. I mean by the end of the session. So these three documents, everyone like use these three documents like the handbook, the syllabus paper, and this model paper. So, okay, let's say you have everything right now. So, but where do we practice? So, where do we do the preparation? So, where do we solve the problems? So, again, so this is the fourth material and the last material you will be using. So, there is a book called FE Review. Um, so, I mean, you can see from my screen, like there is a book like FE Civil Review by Linderberg. So, I use this book. So, do not use this book blindly. Do not solve all the questions. It is like it is waste of time, literally, because when I started my preparation, I do not know that there is a handbook in the exam. So when I started my exam, I used to remember the formulas like from environmental or geotechnical. I started memorizing those formulas because I thought it is very similar to GATE and I have to remember the formula. But it is not. It do not need not require any not required to remember any formula. Everything is in the handbook. But when you try to solve, when you start practicing, but how do you practice? So get this material. This is for only for practice, but do not practice everything. So I will tell you like how do you practice. Just get this material to your house and for the sake of practice and preparation, use this material. But when you start when you start practicing, so what are the questions you have to practice? What are the topics you have to practice? Coming back to the syllabus, let me share you that again. Okay, I think you can see the syllabus paper, the mathematics and statics. This is an example. So So you see here analytical geometry, single variable calculus, vector operation, statics, these four topics. So now you have the syllabus paper. So when you're trying to do the preparation, have these three materials on your side: the syllabus paper, handbook, and the material which I have shown, this FE review book. So when you have after seeing the syllabus paper, let's go to the handbook. So mathematics, let's see where the mathematics is. So this is an example. I'm just give an example with mathematics. Like you can follow the same example, which is like applied to other subjects too, which is like 34th page, 34 something like that. Okay, okay. Here the mathematics starts. So go to the handbook and see like yeah. So here the analytical geometry starts. Like let's say what is the equation of a circle? What is the straight line equation? Very simple questions. There most probably you'll end up with a simple questions. And one more important thing about mathematics is the most highly scoring subject and the most easiest subject as compared to other subjects. So you will have like almost like 10 to 15 questions out of 110 only from mathematics, and they're going to be very simple, very easy. So when I gave my exam, I got like 15 questions or something, 15 16 questions, and I'm able to solve 15 16 questions. So let me show you this practice paper. So how easy you will understand. So mostly you will start with this mathematics only in the beginning. So the generalists look at this one. Like they're asking to find the area of some shaded portion between so and so limits. So this is like we solved it in intermediate second year or something, like in 12th class. So finding the integral, it's a definite integral. So indefinite integral. So the questions are very basic. For engineers, it's going to be very basic. So equation of a sphere or equation of a circle. So so do not leave mathematics. So let's say, I mean, when you have a syllabus paper, like I said, like analytical geometry, go to handbook, and you have so and so topics like sphere or circular, sector, circular, or parallelogram, whatever. Uh, do not required to remember any formula. Just try to understand where the topics are. And after this, go to that FA review book and try to solve a couple of problems. And need not really practice on them, because if you the main purpose of practice is to try to understand and remember any formula. But you need not practice a lot because the formula is already in the handbook. So just try to remember where the topics are, in which page, roughly. So when you have a question from mathematics, you can go to the handbook and you can find that formula and just substitute and get the answer. And most of the, like, let's say you have 15 questions in mathematics, most, like, after like 5 to 10 questions you can solve it without even going to handbook, because they will ask you for integral of calculus, like I've shown you. Like, you can solve the integral, definite integral, or some simple circle equation, or simple permutation or probability equation, or some simple, they will ask you to find the mean of so and so number, median of numbers. So these basic questions, I don't think you need a handbook. But let's say they ask you to find the equation of ellipse or hyperbola, or let's say they ask you some vector, let's say, where are the vectors? Okay, coming down. Okay, here. So they might ask you, so what is the divergence of a vector? So this you may not really remember. Like, it's been very long back we have studied the curl of a vector, divergence of a vector. So, but you have to understand that this topic is there in mathematics, and in so on so forth. So the vector calculus is, see, let's say, so this vector calculus started, and this is like a very small topic, like couple of pages. So you just need to understand where the page number of this one. So when you have the page number, when you have a question, just come back to the handbook and put in the numbers and get the answer. So this is how you use the handbook in the exam. So don't remember anything, just try to understand, get familiar with your, so the more you get familiar with yourself with this handbook, and you'll be more comfortable in the exam. So you'll be able to solve more and more questions. So, so this is like very simple example I gave you with mathematics. So how do you solve a question with using a handbook, and you can practice from the review book. So, and coming back to the mathematics again, let's say, so in the syllabus paper you have seen like analytical geometry, single variable calculus, vector operation, statics. So, and do not expect every topic is in the handbook. Let's say the curve fitting, which I didn't find in the handbook. When I started solving these topics, let's say analytical geometry, singular variable calculus, vector operations, I didn't find this one, the curve fitting. So this curve fitting is actually present in the FU review book. So if you do not find anything in the handbook, go to the FU review book and you find that topic, curve fitting. There is a topic called curve fitting in the FU review book. So go there and solve like couple of questions. That's it, and leave it. So in such situations, if you do not find any formula or something in the handbook, then maybe you have to remember them. So it's a rare scenario. Like 95% everything is covered in handbook. The rest, like 5 to 10% maximum, it may not be in the handbook. And most probably you may not even get a question also, but mostly you will get from within the handbook only. So this is one important observation I made. And coming back to the syllabus paper again. So we have, like, let's say, more than 10 topics. We have like 14 topics for the civil engineering, like the FE in civil engineering. So what are the topics that are really important? What we can study at the last? So what are the topics which we can completely leave? Like, see, when I was preparing for the exam, I left like almost ethics and professional practice. I didn't even touch. Engineering economics, I didn't even touch. These two topics I didn't even touch. But rest of materials, like, partially I studied. But rest of the topics I really worked hard. Like, and one more thing, environmental engineering, do not study. So the questions are really basic. They will ask you like velocity. They will give you area, and they will ask you to find Q. So it's going to be very basic. Even if you want to study from environmental, just make a note of it. Try to study about the BOD for 5 days. So this is the small topic you can study, and don't worry about that. This formula is again present in the handbook. Just type BOD with Control F and go to the topic and just put the values. You will get the answer. And environmental, I'm suggesting you not to really study, is because the questions are going to be very weird. Like, let's say they'll give you something about air pollutants. They'll try to ask you what is the concentration of so and so air pollutant in that. So it will be a complex formula, and you will not, most probably you will not remember the formula. And the best way to solve these questions is use Control F. So if you have anything like this, let's say, let's go to environmental, the handbook. So in case if there is any problem with the sharing, just let me know, because I'm swapping between this PDFs and sometimes I'm going to uh, the Chrome. So if in case if I'm sharing any wrong screen or something, just let me know. Now I'm going to Handbook. Okay, we are in environmental. So let's take. I'm taking a very random question. Let's say they ask you something about this flow rate of outdoor air. So so here the keyword is like the outdoor air, which is a keyword. So when you have a question like that, just do Control F and try to type this outdoor air. So maybe you'll have like two or three search buttons. Like no, sorry, two or three searches you'll have. So but mostly you'll but in the question you will have this one, like what is the like n is number of people working in an office for complex. So what is the concentration? So you just whatever the only thing you need to do is like plug in the values in this formula. So that is the reason the only exceptional subject that you need not really study is environmental. Uh, uh, just go with the handbook, use Control F. I solved all mostly, like let's say there are like 10 questions from environmental. I think I solved like almost like 8 or 9 questions and using only Control F. I didn't even study any of these 8 or 9 questions. The one or two questions or three questions you may not really solve, which may not be in the handbook, or which is really difficult, maybe really theoretical. So that you cannot uh, it is up to you. Like if you really want to study so hard, then then it is up to you. You can actually solve that. Like if you go in detail with the handbook, if you go in detail with the material, so if you study everything, then the extra one or two questions you can solve. But I don't think it's really worth preparing those for the sake of one or two questions, which is very theoretical or which is very difficult. So do not waste your time on something which is not really required. Again, going back to the syllabus paper, like I said, ethics I do not really suggest anyone to study ethics and professional practice, because the syllabus is there are no boundaries for this ethics and professional practice. The question may come in any direction. So if you want to study, just keep it at the last. So try to study maths, geotechnical. I will tell you what are the subjects which are really important, but try to keep ethics and professional practice at the last. So do not study in the beginning. If you have lot of time, if you complete everything, then start ethics and professional practice. Even if you do not study ethics and professional practice, it is still fine. Either question is going to be like a common sense question, or it's going to be like very difficult. Like they will give you what sort of document is this, so who can access this document or something. It is not really, I do not advise anyone to study this one. So, and coming back to engineering economics, so when I was preparing last year for engineering economics, so I do not have any material. Even the engineering handbook is not really good for engineering economics. They have formula and tables, but they do not tell you like what is annuity, so how do we calculate inflation rate, so what is the concept behind. Handbook do not give you any guidance on that. So if you have any material which is giving you a good guidance for engineering economics, study that. But again, I'm telling you, engineering economics also you can keep it at last. But I mean, but study, like you keep it at last and study. Try to study it. It is not. If you ask me to compare between ethics and engineering economics, ethics I do not really encourage anyone to study, but engineering economics study, but at last. I mean, there are many important topics compared to that. So try the only thing is like in FU review, I didn't find in the engineering economics. So try to find a material for engineering economics, or else uh, maybe I maybe maybe I'll when you're like, or else you can actually reach out to me in the future. Like if there is any question you cannot solve, and and one more important thing is, like I said, like I told you, like by the end of the webinar, I'll try to post these three documents: the handbook, the syllabus paper, and the model question paper. You can even actually solve the model question paper, you will find like 4 or 5 questions from the engineering economics. So when you solve them, you will have some rough idea, or solve some questions from a material which you have access to. Okay. Okay, now we'll discuss like what are the very important subjects and where you have to focus a lot, focus more. Mathematics and statics. So these two are the most important and the most scoring and the simple subjects. So if you have 15 questions, uh like I'm telling you, like almost like 70 to 80% they will solve all 15 questions. They're going to be very basic. Like I've shown you the example also, calculating the definite integrals, or circle equation, or they will ask you what is the mean of this so and so numbers, which is very, very basic. So do not leave mathematics, do not ignore mathematics, solve everything which is in the syllabus from top to bottom, everything. This is a serious thing. Okay. uh, Next, coming to statics and dynamics, I generally treat it as a single subject. So, so this is very basic level you will have. So they will ask centroid, or what is the moment of inertia of simple, very simple areas. They will take a planar area or something. They will ask you to find the moment of inertia of that one. So these statics and dynamics, again, go to handbook. So So when you go to handbook, you have the statics and dynamics here. You see, go to that page number and see what is there in the syllabus. Again, go to that fundamentals of review book and see. Try to solve few questions on each example. Let's say moment of inertia, solve a problem. Centroid, solve a problem. So try to solve like that, and do not try to again, do not memorize anything. Everything is there in the handbook. So just um, I mean, try to familiarize it. Again, like try to understand, like, where is this topic, where is this formula. Just try to understand up to that level. Do not really practice a lot. I'm telling you, just practice, just to try to try. I mean, just to know the information. That's it. Statics and dynamics, they're going to be mostly simple questions are going to come. So do not really go in depth. Like it won't be like a gate exam or something back in India. It will be very basic here. So mechanics of materials, again, this, I mean, whatever the formula or the technique I told you for statics and dynamics, the same things apply to mechanics and materials. Again, go to handbook. You see here the mechanics of materials, which starts in the page number 130. So go to handbook, try to find the formula and put in the values, get the answer. And and if there is mechanics and materials, the thing is, like, some of them are concept oriented, like the shear stresses or the shear plane, principal planes, and all that. So a little bit of concept is actually involved. So so when you have something like conceptually when you have some topics which are conceptually, so try to go to that FE review book, solve couple of questions and try to understand more. So let's say, like I told you, like in mathematics, let's say they're asking you some definite integral or trying to ask you median mode. So the concept is there, but not up to that level. But when you have something like they're asking you at what angle the principal plane is actually cutting a body or something, then you need to understand the concept behind. So what is the formula you have to use, and so what, in which direction the angle is used, and what is it, clockwise or anti-clockwise. So some level of a deep knowledge or a deep concept is involved. So in that scenario, try to solve a little bit of more questions from the field. So that's it. Uh, Materials, you can actually find it in the FE materials. I didn't really find a lot in the handbook, but you can find this topic in the FE civil review book. There you will find the materials concept. So go there and solve few questions, and very importantly, solve questions from the model paper. I will, like the 110 questions model paper. So you will have like 6 questions or 7 questions. Try to solve all the 6 7 questions. So why I'm emphasizing so many times that try to solve everything from the question paper, this model paper, because it is not only in my case, even my couple of my friends who recently or in the past they have cracked when they cracked this exam. So there is a very similar trend from the model paper and the exam which we give on that day. So the same questions they will ask you. I mean the numbers they will change obviously, but the same kind of questions, same conceptual questions. So when you solve like 5 6 questions from materials from the model paper, in the exam when you go, they will ask you similar questions. Maybe it not, if let's say not, may not be asking you 5 or 6 questions, at least like couple of questions which you have solved in the paper again. So solve the paper, and if go to the civil review book and solve some questions from there in the materials again. So I didn't find a lot of information about materials in the handbook, so that's fine. Again, coming back to fluid mechanics, like I told you, it doesn't come under civil engineering. Fluid mechanics is a different topic. It starts in 177 page. So fluid mechanics and strength of materials, they are like very similar. A little bit of concept in involved. So you have to understand that. So fluid mechanics and strength of materials try to solve a little bit of more questions. It is not like statics or dynamics where you will have a direct question. And because statics and dynamics, we started studying them right from our 11th or 12th class. So we have those basics very strong. But when you ask me about the strength of materials, we started studying them right from our engineering second year or third year, mostly second year, I guess. So try to solve a little bit of more questions from these two topics, like fluid mechanics and the strength of materials. Again, serving, which is again started in the like if we are serving started in engineering second year or something. So serving comes under civil engineering. Like I told you, fluid mechanics do not come under civil engineering, mechanics of materials do not come under civil engineering, dynamics do not come under civil engineering. But from here, everything, most of them are under civil engineering. It's surveying. Go to handbook, go to civil engineering. Let's go to civil engineering. Okay. Go all the way down. We are in civil engineering right now. So when you come to civil engineering, there will be many topics like structures, geotechnical, transportation. So again, you have to familiarize yourself. Like so, where surveying is. So is it after steel structures or before steel structures? So hydrology is there. Now let's go. I think transportation is almost at the ending before construction engineering. I mean, I remember that. So yeah, we came to transportation. Like when you scroll down, you see we're almost coming to that place. Okay, right, traffic. Right here. So here, you see the latitudes and departure, earthwork formulae, and the area formulas. So they all have something like the forward bearing, the back bearing. So these things you have studied in your back in engineering. So again, so again, go back to handbook and see the topics what they're touching on. There are like only couple of pages like latitude, departure, earthwork formulae, area formulae. So like 3-4 topics are there. So these 3-4 topics try to solve a couple of questions again from the FE Civil Review book. So when you solve, you have some idea, you have some knowledge, and you will have like see every topic you solve, go to handbook and see where the topic is. So is it in civil engineering or not? If it is in civil engineering, where is that in civil engineering? Is it like before structures or after structure? So what are the things covered in the civil engineering? I know I can tell you geotechnical, structure analysis, transportation, hydrology, construction engineering, surveying. So all these topics are there. What is the pattern? Like geotechnical comes at last or before. So every time you solve a question when you go to handbook, subconsciously you will remember like, okay, this topic is so and so page number roughly. So this topic is so and so page number. So this is a very good habit. And let's take two people. The one person is actually trying to I mean, he's practicing a lot. Like he's solving all the questions in the FE review book, but he didn't take much time to look into handbook. And there is another person like he solves rarely, but he give little bit of practice, but he go to handbook and see where the topics are. And mostly the person who is very familiarized with the handbook will crack the exam than the person who is like maybe he might have practiced a lot from the review book, but he is not very much accustomed to the handbook. So I don't think he will be able to crack the exam. During the exam, you have to take the handbook and you have to find the formula. So that is one important thing. So again, going back to the syllabus, like I told you, like so water resource and environment. Environmental, I told you just now, like few minutes back. Do not study. It is not really required to study anything from environmental. When you have this control plus F button in the search bar, like you have the search box, try to find the keyword and you can easily solve the answer. If it is either the question is going to be very difficult or the question is going to be very easy, like I told you, like velocity, area, they'll ask you to find Q value. Like there is a air filter, they will tell you what is it, at what rate it is coming, and they will ask you, and they will give you the area or something. They will ask you to find the volume of the tank or something. So it is by common sense you can solve some of most of the questions. If it is not, it will be a difficult question where you can use the control plus F button. So environmental, if you want to study there is a small topic on BOD. So BOD for 5 days, BOD ultimate or something. So study that small topic. but the rest you can actually solve in the exam. Okay, so in the environmental is not again coming from civil engineering, it is a different topic. Just remember that up to that extent, that's fine. And water resources. So water resources like the hydrology and all that, the flood control, groundwater, water quality. So these topics are actually in the handbook. Again, this comes under civil engineering. So again, like where is it? Is it before I think is it before transportation or after transportation? So it is. So I know like it is before transportation. So go all the way up. Yeah, hydrology, hydraulic jump. Again, this is like these are all the topics of hydrology, specific energy. You see here. So all the topics are already here. So need not remember anything. So when you have a question, come to handbook and like search for the formula and solve it. Like I told you, what are the again the same way of approach like handbook, how to use handbook. The same approach is applied for structures, geotechnical, transportation, construction engineering. So there is no difference. So I'm not explaining each and every subject how do you proceed. The same process. So and here again you see geotechnical, which is like 10 to 15 questions are going to be. So one of the advantages of geotechnical, mathematics, or hydrology is like they have a mostly you will end up with very simple questions. Mathematics, I mean, if it is followed, try to make a note. Mathematics, geotechnical, and hydrology. So these three topics, the questions are very easy. Even if you try to solve it from the model paper, I felt very easy. And even in the exam when I'm giving on that day, I felt very easy. So mostly you will end up solving all the questions. So you have formula and the questions are simple. So let's say you get like 15 questions from maths and you get like 10 to 15 questions from geotechnical, and hydrology you'll get like 10 to 15. See, let's say 10, let's say worst case scenario 10, 30 marks. So 30 marks you're able to get like just by using a formula and trying to understand where the concepts are. 30 to 45 marks. So now the crucial part. So out of 110 questions, like we need to get at least 70 to 75 marks. So even if you study little bit, if you solve 110 questions like the from the model paper, little bit of study, solve all the 110 questions, try to familiar yourself with this handbook. And if you do these three things, handbook, solve all the 110 questions in the model paper, and like try to understand what is there in the syllabus and the important topics I told you. So when you do all these things, at least at some level, I think most probably you will end up cracking the exam. Like which happened. Like I did little bit of more research when I studied for the exam, but it is not really required to do any research. Like my friends, they prepared for 1.5 month or hardly 1.5 month, but they solved all the questions from the model paper. So that is one very big advantage where you can crack the exam. So to solve all the 110 questions. So this is how we use handbook. I think I explained everything, I guess, most of them, all the most of the important things. So that's it. That's it, I guess. Yeah. Srinivas, are you there?
Yes, Dheeraj. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So, uh, Srinivas, that's it, Srinivas. So again, like let me, I'll post here in the chat box. I think it's fine, right?
Uh, I don't think it's fine, basically. Why? Because it's having a huge MB. But what I can
Okay,
suggest
okay,
you, so there was a one quotation that you can't share with the material which you bought into the NCES. So I recommended you not to do that. But
okay,
if
okay,
you
fine.
could share with us, we will try to share through email or any kind of opportunity, like chances we have, then we will do in that way. Okay?
Okay, let me see. I think I got some messages in the chat box. Let's say,
Okay. Yeah, you
let me
can
answer
go
them.
ahead and carry.
Which calculator is best? So the calculator, like I told you, like go to the NCS website. They will write like what are the standards of a calculator you need to have. Like I mean the calculator I have taken, I used back in engineering back in India. So I used to take it to the class. So the same calculator, the scientific calculator. So I mean use that scientific calculator and see whether it is matching the standards or not. That information is the NCS website. So go to that NCS website which I've shown you, and you'll find the information there. Like how should I deal with ethics? So ethics for me personally, I didn't even touch that subject, and it is not really important. You will get hardly few questions, 4 5 questions. out of 110 questions, and mostly those 4 or 5 questions you will see in the exam. You will, it is not that A B C D. They will give you like A B C D E F G. Out of 6 options, they will ask you which of the options are correct. It may be like 2 options, 3 options, 4 options, 1 option only. So in ethics, it happened to me. So the probability or the uncertainty in ethics is really high, and it is not really worth studying for the subject. Personally, I do not recommend anyone to study ethics. So ethics is the only subject I do not really recommend. So if you want to study, get a material and study the whole. Maybe it will like, I don't know. There are like a lot of pages you can study. Okay, someone has scheduled their FA exam on August 30. August 30 is like almost 1 month, like 40 days. So 40 days is sufficient. So if you want to crack any exam in 40 days, the first thing you do is solve the model paper. So if you don't have the model paper, go to that NCS website and download the paper and solve all the 110 questions. You have solutions also in that model paper. Like they will solve you, like they will elaborately tell you like how do we solve the paper. So it is possible. So you can my roommates. So I took a lot of time to crack FA exam. Like I took like more than couple of months because I started as a raw preparation without any handbook or something. So it took me 2 to 3 months. But my roommates, they took like almost like 1 month, 1 month, 10 days or something. But they have little bit of guidance from my side. I told them handbook is there, you use this, use that, solve this question paper. So they took 1 month. So within 1 month also it is possible, but make sure you solve 110 questions. Very get familiar yourself like with the handbook. That is important. So yeah, 25 days, it depends again. That is like little uncertain, I cannot get. But 40 days, I think it's fine. with with average intelligence, I think 40 days is fine. 25 days, I'm not really sure. Uncertainty is there, but still you can work hard on daily basis. So how hard the structural engineering questions? Structural engineering questions, so mostly they will ask you from steel, RCC, analysis like the moving loads. So do one thing. If you have this question, solve the questions from the model paper and go back to that handbook and see. Like you will understand the pattern. Like what sort of questions they are asking you. So go with the handbook first and see, because syllabus and handbook side by side, compare what is there in the syllabus and solve those questions, and first solve from the model paper. You will have an idea. So when you do these practices, you will have an idea. So that's it. And um, so
So
if you have any
that's
questions, you
it.
can reach to Srinivas. Hello, Srinivas, step
Yes,
Srinivas.
Dheeraj,
Uh,
I wanted to emphasize a few things. First of
okay,
all, thank you so much. And when I heard these things and I got to know that this is a simple exam if you are familiar with the handbook.
right,
So,
right.
and so you need to have that kind of preparation by basically the two things, syllabus and handbook and the review material. It's a bit costly, but still, so these three things will definitely will helpful for to crack this
Yeah,
fundamentals of engineering exam.
right, right.
Okay, so
So
if I could
Srinivas,
mention, yeah, go ahead.
so the review book, like you said, it is costly because see, when I was preparing this review book, I didn't buy them. So if you are studying here
Mm.
in USA, so try to get it from the library. It is like you can rent it for a couple of months. So when you have the exam schedule, just rent it for that time, or rent it, or rent the book or something. So do not. I mean, it is. I mean, buying a book is the last option because it's expensive, like $100 or $150. It's an expensive thing. So do it as put it as the last option. And again, syllabus paper and handbook, it is in the website, so it's free. And again, the model paper. So like you mentioned, the syllabus handbook and the review book. But compared to these three, I emphasize on the model paper. Solving those 110 questions is the must thing to crack the exam. If you do not solve 110 questions and if you give hell a lot of preparation also, I do not really appreciate that. I mean, if you solve those 110 questions, it is really good. So that paper, try to buy. If you have friends, like 3, 4 friends, like split among yourself and buy. So it will be like $10 to $15 for each person. So it's fine. So yeah. Okay, Srinivas, tell me.
Yeah. So just give me a minute, Dheeraj, and I am gonna share my screen for the people
Sure, sure.
to
I'll stop
let
sharing.
them know about the yeah. Guys, as you listen and hope you got a clear picture, how could we prepare fundamentals of engineering and in civil, and also the main two things and syllabus you could keep it to your hand, and so and the fundamentals handbook you could keep it on a screen. Don't take a printouts as of my experience, and so try to keep it in a uh, laptop itself and try to find by searching. Okay, so that's a good approach. And I want to let you guys know about Bhavanam C2C things actually. So as you already know that, but in outside we do have a courses for a fundamentals of engineering, but Bhavanam C2C took an initiative and they also created a one course fundamentals of engineering for a civil engineering courses. What these guys are doing here, so they are going to explain you complete civil subjects review. The way if you are lack of concept, that this is the best source for you to understand the concept. And if he is always depend on the concept and using the handbook, then you will get a solution. So that's the main thing. And for the concept wise, so this is the best source for you to learn the concept. 14 subjects we are going to deal with each and every subject concept wise. What is the concept behind those syllabus? And then all subjects on class practice problems. We are going to help you to do the practice problems in front of you. So in the live sessions and complete civil handbook review. We are going to give you the review on a complete civil handbook, and Dheeraj gave us a good understanding of a handbook, but we are going to give you in deep. If you would open a mathematics, what are the option, what are the concepts we have, and how can you use those formulas, and how you can expect those questions, those all kind of things. And coming to the fourth one, each subject we have created a mock practice tests for you guys. For each subject we created a 45 questions, and end of the test you can see the solution and you can see your marks also. So this is the grade for you, and 14 subjects and almost like 45 questions. It means you are going to spend almost 60 hours of time for each question. As per the FE, for each question you will be allocated more than will the 3 minutes nearly. Okay, so like by using these 3 minutes, and you we are going to give you the 60 hours of questions, so you could solve each question and 45 questions. And so we are going to give you, and then three set of full mock tests. We have prepared 110 questions, three sets. So if you follow, as Dheeraj mentioned, if you could solve one test paper with the 110 questions, you would be confident. If you do two, then you will be 50% confident. If you could follow the three set of FE mock tests, and then you will be almost ready to 85% to 90. Then it all depend on how you utilized your time in exam, and how confident you are into the handbook. These all things depends. But it would be the 6 hours of exam. But in our test portal, you could see it's like giving. It's not like giving a PDF. It's like moreover it's like a real time exam. You have to sit in front of your computer for 6 hours, and there is a two sections, 56 for one section and 54 marks for a second section. So two sections is same like FE exam. Even if you sit on FE exam, this is the same pattern. We created a test portal in that way. So and the calculator training tips and everything, and instructor support and help. Our instructors will be there in our WhatsApp group. If you anytime if you need any support anything, and they are here to help you. As you know, so the price would be $600, and the when we kept it for a 300 only, still you are getting it for a $50 offer, and it would be a $250. And then if you didn't like the course within 1 week, we will be refund you the full amount. So if you wanted to enroll, you could see here. But how could you use this coupon code? Let me show you. If you are an Android user, just open your Play Store and install Bounum C2C application. And if you are an iPhone user, just open your App Store and type Class Plus, then install. And when you are trying to log in into it, and it will ask you the ORG code PCSS. Just give that ORG code, then you can see our course content and everything. So those are the handbooks and everything what is available here. So if I let me show you that, if you could open the our like this link bounumc2c.courses, then I'm going to give you in a chat box. Just try to keep it for your reference. Maybe. Yeah, I just shared this link in the chat box. The one thing you have to do, so if you could open, if you could see all the courses, you can see there was a fundamentals of engineering. So click on get this course. if you could see this, it is a 25,000. As we already mentioned, you are going to get a $50. And if you can, so if you come down and here you can see apply here. So you could apply the coupon code here, civil FE. If you type and click on apply, then you are eligible to get a 5,000 offer, and it would be a $250, and it's in INR. Okay, if you wanted to pay installment, still there was a installments available. So you have to, once you pay that, and after 2 weeks again you have to pay the remaining installment. So this is how it is. And if you could open the content, there you can see there was a civil demo test. So this defines you how our test portal will be. Okay, so I think now I am unable to open this, but if you could enroll, like just giving your name, if you install our application, there you can see that the demo test by applying this demo set. And if you wanted to see some demo test results, I'm not sure. Okay, so let me do one thing. I'm sorry. I can't show you that right now, maybe. So, and here you can see the syllabus. The Dheeraj mentioned you are going to give you the syllabus, and I hope Dheeraj used a 10.4 FE handbook, isn't it, Dheeraj? Maybe you wrote
No, the
when it was
handbook
in
is like
10.3.
no, I think it's a recent handbook because I went to website and
Yes.
I went to
Oh
website.
yeah,
So
yeah. Then it would be the, yeah, then it would be the recent
latest
one.
one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, the
fine.
latest.
Yes. So yeah, he took the 10.4, and the recently like July. So we got a 10.4 handbook, and everything will be available, readily available for you. And the test center that Dheeraj mentioned, you have been given by some of the test, like mock tests. We are also uploading those things in here itself. So this would be the great opportunity for you guys if you could utilize. So yeah, so still, if you have any questions regarding this, please do let me know, so that we are very happy to help you with this. There is, if you have anything, so yeah, you can mention.
And one last thing. Like I said, like exam is for 6 hours. So you have 110 questions in 6 hours. You have a lot of time during the exam. So do not panic anyway. Like back in India, we have exams for 3 hours or something generally. Like for gate we have 3 hours, or for, like in the beginning of our engineering also we have this JE or mains or MSET or something. Most of the exams are for 3 hour period. So here when it comes to FE exam, it is for 6 hours. So take your time and solve it. Do not, it is not, even if you sleep for 30 minutes, nothing will happen. So you have a lot of time. Do not panic. So take your time and solve in your pace. Still fine. So very very hardly, very few people will complain about time when like when they stuck with, do not if you do not solve, if you, let's say if you're not able to solve any particular question or something, do not waste time like 15-20 minutes on that. If you think like I'm not able to solve this, go to the next question, skip to the next question, or some other topic or something, and try to go from there. Okay, do not stuck anywhere, like more, do not spend more than 10-15 minutes on single question. So that is one thing. And so yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Dheeraj, so I just wanted to ask our people who enrolled and who joined this live session. Guys, since it was a free session, so try to give your feedback, so that on this session, how it was helped you, and what kind of options you got it from this webinar. And so these kind of your feedbacks matters a lot, and we are going to update the next webinars also as per your feedback. So I already shared you the feedback link in chat box. So just go ahead and give your valuable feedback, so that we will update everything, and we will come up with the new concepts in upcoming days. If you have any suggestions. Yeah, I think that's it, Dheeraj, and thank you so much for your valuable inputs. And so this webinar makes our people to get into the familiar with the handbook, and also I believe they got a clear understanding how could they use the handbook. And so yeah, that's a great thing. Thanks so much for that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Guys, still, if you haven't give your feedback, so please go ahead and check that feedback link in a chat box and just give your feedback.
Okay.
Hope we don't have any questions. Dheeraj, from
So
your
if you
end,
have any
do you
questions,
have
you
any?
can ask me. Like I'll be here for some time, and you can, if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Yeah, one person asked me how many is this course having a recorded sessions. Yeah, it's having a recorded sessions, and the recorded sessions you will be getting for a 2 years. So you could watch anytime you want within the 2 years of this fundamentals of engineering course. So it's all yours. Yeah, I think there is that's it. So if you want to add anything, you can add, and we will end up this session.
That's it. I mean, all the best for your future exam. So if you have any questions related to technical questions or something like maths or geotechnical anything, you can actually reach out to me in LinkedIn or somewhere. Like if you have, you can actually talk to me in LinkedIn or somewhere. Like if you have any difficulty in approaching this exam or something. So yeah, so you can actually, or you can reach out to Srinivas, or else you can reach out to me. So okay,
Yeah,
how was the
thank you.
exam session? So there was
Yeah,
a
go
question.
ahead.
How was the exam session split? So exam is actually split into two sections, section 1 and section 2. Uh, like I said, when you solve any question in section within section 1, you can swap like first question to 10th question, 10th question to 5th question, you can swap within section 1. But once you complete section 1, save it and continue to the next session, you cannot come back to the section 1 from section 2. So swapping between sections is not possible, but within sections you can swap, like you can go from one question to other question. So, and how many model papers will get if we buy 50? So when you like, when I was preparing last year, I bought this $35 paper, which is in the NCS website. So there is only one paper for $35. So I solved it from top to bottom. I solved everything. Um, Actually, to be honest, one or two question papers are sufficient. I mean, you will get bored if you try to solve more than 3-4 question papers. One or two. I mean, like I mean, two is the very optimum. Like you will have two references. Like you will understand like what sort of questions. Yeah. So one or two questions. Try to solve at least one paper. Try to solve fully. So two questions is fine. And like I said, like one paper is there in that $35 whatever I purchased. So any other questions?
I think there
So
is nothing from my end. Yeah.
so okay. So okay, then
Yeah.
anyway, then all the best for your exam. So try to give your best. If there is any question, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or somewhere, or you can reach out to Srinivas. Oh,
Yeah.
does questions
So
in
thank you so
exam?
much. Yeah. You
Yeah,
have
I think okay.
questions?
Let
Yeah,
me ask
go.
this last question. Okay,
Mm.
does questions in the exam are in order as in syllabus? Uh, I don't think so. Uh, I don't think they will follow the syllabus pattern exactly. I don't think so. So maybe like maths, all maths, maybe it's one set. I mean, like first 10 questions maths, maybe 11 to 15 engineering economics, maybe something like that. But I don't think they follow. I don't think so. And it is not really important. Let's say they follow engineering economics first and maths second. It doesn't really matter, right? Again, yeah, that's it.
Okay, Dheeraj, thank you so much for
Yeah, yeah,
your deep understanding on your fundamentals of engineering handbook. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, hope we'll see, and maybe we'll come up with a new session on maybe upcoming days. Yeah, thank you so
Mhm.
much for your support. Yeah.
Thank you, Srinivas, and thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
All the best. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. And if you haven't gave your feedback, so please give your feedback. And if you have any questions to Dheeraj, or if you have any questions to Bonham C2C, please reach out to us, and we will share the Dheeraj mail ID if you wanted to connect with him, and we will share his LinkedIn profile also if you wanted to connect with him. So yeah, okay, guys, all the best for you. Thank you so much. Stay tuned with us. Bye, bye, guys.